Bro, that Macca's hit different last night. I felt yuck afterwards though, like bloated and shit.
Yeah, because you've had so long away from it.
Yeah. Well, what's your order? What do you get,
From
Jacko?
Macca's.
From Macca's, I'm pretty bland, mate.
Like what?
Nuggets and a Big Mac. I don't go too special.
No chips?
Yeah.
In a meal.
Obviously.
Yeah.
What do I look like? Yeah, meal.
Surely cheeseburger, mayo.
Fanta at Macca's hits different too.
That's my favourite drink, bro. Fanta. I always get Fanta. I was looking at the comments the other our last show, and someone goes, "Bet your ice brings up QC." That they grew up together.
Someone said that in the premiere before, like it had even really started.
Well, you can't be mates. Can't be mates with Quaden. You can't grow up with someone anymore. Is that not cool? Is it?
It's like me with Manly. One of the boys in the punters club goes, "You can tell Manly are going all right when Scope starts talking about Snake again." Ken Norton, shout out to who shot the bum in Norton. One of the boys, one of the OGs.
How is the punters club going?
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
good.
Any wins? Any big ones?
Nah, not for a minute.
How's So Sunny going?
So Sonny's going all right. I think on his, I think he's been really close to a couple of like massive ones, but
so he's got a subscription model now, eh?
yeah, he does.
Is it going all right?
Yeah, but I think he's capped his numbers. He likes to keep it at I think he's got a certain amount of numbers, and he doesn't let anyone out. It could be bigger, but I think he likes to keep it like a real solid base in there. And if anyone,
that makes sense.
And if anyone's sort of like he's a fuckwit or carries on,
later.
I think he just punts him, and then he brings in a new person. So
that should be our model, eh? For punters club. All right, boys, before we go live, last game as a Knight supporter. I'm
How'd
out.
you go?
I'm out.
Oh, that hurts.
I'm a Roosters fan.
Well, it's a good time to be a Roosters fan, Isaac.
Might roll into the finals.
Yeah.
What, back-to-back losses?
I think we call ourselves the Tricolour Syndicate. It's going to be elite. It's going to be elite. Please don't hate on me, Jackson. Hey, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the YKTR Sports Show. We are in the BodyScience Studio. As always, if you want to get your BC products, you can get them from Coles. Been pumping the Shred. Oh, they're not selling Shred at the moment, are they?
Yeah, there's Shred Ultra still there.
Shred Ultra. Get on the Shred Ultra, the pre-workout, the pre-work, the pre-life, all that sort of good stuff. Joined, as always, by the skipper of the D-Gens, Justin Horro. Hey, bro, what's up?
Hey, brother. Yeah, had a little bit of whey protein from BSC this morning. BodyScience this morning as well. Chuck it in my smoothie.
You've been getting after it, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, fucking F, man.
How's the rig looking? Have you ever been ripped?
Oh,
Are you just not the type that can get ripped?
Nah, because my diet's always poor, like outside of my training. So, like, this is why BodyScience is important, you know? and that's organic. And that just happened organically. Yeah. But no, all jokes aside, I'll burn heaps of calories with training, but then I get like a mad craving and like I've never
get hangry, eh?
Yeah, I've never really been.
Did you have
disciplined
a shit
with my
diet like when you were playing? Like
yeah, awful. I was a Mudders. That's why I'm the fucking skipper of that's why I'm the captain coach of Mudders FC, Mudders United.
Vintage Jackson, how are you, bro?
Yeah, speaking of Mudders, yeah, I'm good, bro. Same shit.
Have you ever been ripped? You would have been alright, wouldn't you?
Yeah, skinny though, like.
Skinny rip.
It doesn't count. You can't be shredded in 75 kilos. So.
Yeah, they say a skinny guy with abs is like a big girl with tits, eh?
Yeah, exactly. And I've got them, that's for sure.
I remember the closest I would have got was the first year Steve Kearney and Brad Arthur come from Melbourne, and we got like on a strict diet plan. I normally used to play about 102 kilos, but I stripped down to 95 to start the season. But I just had no punch in my game. You know,
was that your whole career?
You know, I love finding my front and getting elbows, and my elbows and knees were never dirty after the games in 2011. So,
what jersey number is he wearing? He's fucking got a dirty back then. Bro, I got down to skin folds. I was a second lowest at Penrith. I was like 38 off 8 points, but I didn't look ripped. Yeah, and like someone like Josh Mansell was 20 points higher than me and like looked shredded.
I was so when they first rocked up, I was the second worst behind. Remember Daniel Panisi? Do you remember?
Yeah, I know Daniel Panisi.
He played at Penrith. I think he was like 21% body fat, bro, and I was like 18. Yeah, proper mudders. And then I ended up getting, like I said, because of that preseason, I stripped right down, and I don't think I ever got single digits, but I got down around like 10 or 11%, and I think the target was 12% for forwards. So, I lost heaps of weight.
What you go to cheap? What do you crave the most? Your burgers?
Yeah, treat myself to Macca's, once a week. I love a burger. I love a burger and chips from anywhere.
We've been going the old katsu curry too, haven't we?
Yeah, chicken katsu curry. You know what's like underrated, bro? Hungry. We're talking heaps about food. Hungry Jack's.
We'll get to the footy.
Bacon Deluxe from Hungry Jack's is probably my favourite burger.
Ooh, is that the poor man's burger? Is that the poor man's Burger King?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kitty's Burger King.
Bro, the double cheeseburger in New Zealand fucking hits different.
Yeah.
That little small one.
Yeah. I'm a freak. I get extra pickles on that cunt too.
Bro, do you know what? I had it like I'm not
too many greens.
Not really been big on pickles, but I had them yesterday because I was just hungry. Fuck, they're all right, eh?
Pickles.
If you get a nice
Pickles
pickle,
are good. I love pickles.
Yeah, I love them. You're in Bondi, bro. You get those like proper, nice fucking organic ones.
Organic pickles.
Yeah, they're different
from the farmer's
Nah,
market.
you want them old ones that look half yellow. No, I used to just sweep them off with the chip when I was a little bit younger. And you know those things that kind of just stick with you. What's happening for you? Hey, Jake, let's go.
Sorry, yeah. Before we roll into the games, we've obviously got plenty happening around footy, as it always is. We'll start with you, Isaac. We've got kind of 3 big things that we like to roll through before we get to the games.
3 of the best.
3 of the best, Scope.
Oh, I like that.
Ice
Oh,
yesterday.
sorry, Jake. We should do a little thing of 3 of the best.
Oh, yeah, we should add it to the
like a
roadcaster.
radio show of the grouse. Get the scope on there.
Next week.
3 of the best.
Mad Monday obviously always produces a few storylines. This one's no different. The Broncos, we don't have a lot of details on this at the moment, but apparently Jordan, Pretty Ricky, one of our favourites here.
Can't ruin the face, bro.
And Big Flegler apparently got into it on a Mad Monday. We don't have many details, but I see that Ricky's running around with his arm in a sling. So I don't know if that's game related or Mad Monday related, but
no, he had an op, didn't he?
Yeah, he had an op coming.
Oh, is that why?
I have no idea. I'm just
I think
it's Journo Jackson coming back.
Yeah, get that journo out of you. Yeah, I think he had that coming.
Man, fight on Mad Monday is just it is what it is. Eh, Scope? You reckon?
Yeah, fucking. I've had a couple.
Yeah, with who?
I told the story with me and Lukey. We did a bit of a show. I had one in France where I was pizzling. We were going down to Barcelona at Catalan Dragons, and I was pizzling one of the young boys because he was fucking.
He flogged you?
No, he didn't flog me. He was doing it tough. He it's day 2, day 3. That's when the experienced campaigners do their best work, like the skip. So I'm getting into him on the bus trip from France down to Barcelona, and then one of the senior boys, one of the older boys, like Benny Garcia, I got along with him well. He took offence to it. He thought I'd gone too far. So Benny's looking at me, right? So we get down to Barcelona, and I didn't see it coming because obviously it wasn't Benny. But I was fucking, you know what it's like. You do it as well. We all just fucking pizzle each other. You know, Frenchie's a little bit different. They don't get that sort of vibe. So I can see something's up with him, and then he's speaking in French to a couple of the other French boys, and I could pick up with the little bit of French that I knew, and he's saying my name. I was going, this cunt's fucking having a crack here. So we get up, come face to face because I was like, this is going to be on. And bro, he didn't even say anything. He just went crack. Oh, got ya. Got me. Bang, like hit me.
Suck shit.
So like it was good. Like, oh fuck, I didn't give a fuck. So Luke Burgess is there. He comes and grabs me and pulls me away. Jace Patiri, a couple of boys, all the Frenchies get up. And I'm fucking trying to get back at him. And he's standing there, he's holding his ground, he's ready to go too. Yeah. And and then like after it, so then we get into each other, and I'm going like, fuck, what's going on here? Like, you got something up with me? And then he explains that I was fucking getting into what the younger guy.
Good on him. Shut up, Benny Garcia.
And I went, yeah, fuck it. And we sat down after it. We fucking cheers the beers, and I went, all right, fuck, I got cracked out of, you know.
That's Mad Monday, man. Yeah. Sometimes that happens. Obviously, the boys are on the piss for a couple of days, and sometimes there's built up frustrations as well between the boys. So obviously we don't know, but honestly, who cares? It's like going for a piss on Mad Monday. It's going to happen sometimes.
More likely if you've had a bit of a rough year, or less likely?
Do you know what?
No, it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like we've heard stories about guys that have won comps and then gone back as well.
Carried on, yeah.
But Prez has probably been in a few scraps in his days.
Do you know that one about Kenny Brom?
Yeah. So the Melbourne Storm boys getting scraps too, but who gives a fuck because they win.
Nah, but this is the difference, bro. Like this is good clubs. They don't let this type of thing leak.
Yeah.
So that's when you know you're a struggling club, when information starts leaking out. Like Rooster, I reckon Radley's had a fight, and Jared's probably fucking flogged a few people and narps.
But you know what? He's right in a way too, where winning solves everything. Like, people talk about it because the Broncos. Then
getting punched in the face of a grand final ring wouldn't hurt.
But like,
split you up.
You know, when like Chiefs have their off seasons to do, and Prez have their off seasons to do, when they do something, let the boys play. Like at 6 again.
Yeah,
it helps.
So it does help.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the Prez there. Ice, Scope, we're going to throw to you with this one. I think we've put it in there in Notion for you as well, Ice. Getting a bit of golfing in his spare time. If you could be any more relaxed in NRL finals time, Cam Munster out there on the
this
golf
is an
course.
old
video,
Oh, is this an old one?
Yeah.
But we love the Prez. Bit of footage here.
He's not happy either.
Is he? He had some nice scope.
Yeah, bro. He's really nice. I think he might play off about 12 or 13.
Oh, he can play.
Oh, yeah, play. Yeah, he's just one of those. Have you seen him play cricket in that as well?
Yeah, he bowls. Had a sixes.
Yeah.
Or did he bowl someone else?
Yeah, he's just natural. Like, he's just one of those guys. Just good at everything. Would have played heaps of sport.
What's that in the water? Drink. That's two.
Yeah, you drop a shot, then you have to pull it in, and then
Is that Joshy Drinkwater? Is that his name? Scotty?
Scotty. Yeah.
Scotty?
Oh, was it Scotty Drinkwater recording it, was it?
No, that was a shot, the Scotty Drinkwater. So speaking of 5'8", they can hit him on teams that we support. I think Luke Keary hits him all right, eh?
Yep, Kez does. He was going to be part of the golf day, obviously, that we weren't able to do. Plays down at the local.
Who would be the best golfer?
Him.
There's some good.
Jamie Lyon was nice, wasn't he?
Killer was nice. Jamie Lyon was nice. Luke Burgess and Sam Burgess are both really nice.
The big boys.
I believe Brave come on and he talked about like Brave's gun.
Swapping codes. Old Nug goes all right for a little fella.
Is
on the
Nug
course.
good?
Yeah, a lot of the All Blacks boys
they're
go
good,
as well.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
They've got so much fucking tour time.
Yeah, and they play at good courses all over the world too.
Yeah, he's
you know?
played at the Australian and Bondi, and he said it's hard to get on. Like I think a membership's like $100K or something like that.
Kez is the same. Like Kez gets on some golf courses that you just like can't get. Like it's honestly you can't pay to get on them, just because it's invite only.
When I was off Aaron and we bumped into Trent Robinson, he goes, Trent Robinson's like, oh yeah, I'll be able to get you on the Australian and that if you want. So obviously you'll be supporting the Roosters next year. I'll get you on, boys.
There you go. Speaking of guys doing well in life, JT, apparently news coming out. Obviously you guys were talking about it in the office yesterday, Ice. Living off just a cool $300 a week. Must be nice.
I don't find that cool, eh?
JT, who JT?
Jonathan Thurston lives off $300 a week. Oh, I think it's cool that he's investing in all that sort of stuff. And obviously, being the man he is, he'd probably get a lot of things for free. $300, bro. What's that Townsville compared to Sydney money?
Oh, bro,
That'd be plenty up there, eh?
bro.
Buy a house up there.
So he'd be
for
like
$300.
obviously saving by living up there too with costs.
Apparently he's got a multi-million-dollar portfolio, which makes sense in terms of shares and stuff. And the only thing he's ever really gone out to buy is that car he bought. Is it a Mustang?
He's treated himself to a Mustang. That's it.
Yeah, like a
over his
half a
career.
Classic car, yeah.
Wow.
Whatever it is.
How did this come out? When did this come out? I've never seen this story.
I think yesterday
Was
was
when
reading
we saw
about it.
Yeah. $300 a week.
Chico was talking about, I won't say the numbers, but Chico was talking about the deal that he could have got to Penrith. Bro, it's crazy. It would be the most money now, even now.
So was that in his prime?
That would be like 13. The year I got to
Penrith.
Yeah.
So he was having run-ins with Neil Henry that offered him a gig and like he would have had work after that as well. I've heard the guys at Penrith talk about it, haven't known the number, and Chico sort of said the number that JT told him, and he was basically going to his missus like, you never have to work again. You never. Obviously, if you live enough $300 a week, he'd have some coin behind him.
Yeah.
Bro, that's tight, man.
And who did they go and get after that? Is that just before they went and got Jimmy and Jamie Soward and all that?
Yeah. So they want to get him instead of Soward, but they were going to load up and then go, oh, we've got a bunch of gun juniors coming through. This is who we're going to. Yeah. But then he would have had work straight up. Like, he would have had a job for life there and like on
He's got a job for life anyway, Channel 9 and Cowboy stuff, so he's set.
Bro,
made a good. He ended what, and then won the grand final a couple of years later at Cowboys.
2 years later.
I think I've seen Gus talk about that too. He's so, in a way, like Gus obviously wanted him, but in a way he's glad because like the history of what he did at the Cowboys and whatnot, and stayed there.
Yeah, Gus don't care. Yeah, he'd want them at the Penrith, I reckon.
Oh yeah, he definitely said that.
Scope, what would you spend $300 a week on?
Jeez, that's going on the fucking multi Thursday night. That's gone.
Oh, jeez, that's an awfully round number. The old 300, old
300
JT.
The best.
Simi, what would you buy?
On a 3-legger.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Sweet. Rolling into the footy, I think you've got Parramatta Penrith in here first, but that's all right. We can start with that. We don't have to go in order.
Yep.
Parramatta versus Penrith. Obviously, Penrith had the hiccup, for lack of a better word, over the weekend. But Ice, we'll start with you in this one. We're going to go same as last week: strength, weaknesses, X factor, and your predictions. Start with strengths in this one: Parramatta v Penrith.
I think Parramatta, at their time, they've run perfectly. Like they were losing a bunch of games. BA gave them a day off. Or a couple of days off, and they've sort of come back and bounced and rest a few players. So I think the timing of their form is perfect. I think Mitch Moses, we'll talk about him a little bit later, but man, he's key to everything that they do. And Gutho's always going to do his thing. I think the forwards really stepped up. So I think form is their thing. And for strengths for Penrith, I know Nathan Cleary's the obvious conversation, but I want to go back rowers deluxe. They've got so many back rowers, and they're all really good. So they need them to all stand up for a Nathan Cleary dependent side. I think they need their back rows to be elite because it sets up everything else that's outside of them. Jerome Luai gets a little bit better. I think Dylan Edwards comes back in as well. Their shapes are a little bit better. And if they can punch that line, which they do really, really well, it sets up everything off the back of it. So I'm going back rows.
Yeah, you're right, because when Kickout's playing well, generally they're doing a number on teams. So if Kickout can get back to sort of some of that form that he's had last year. He's been good. He's been good.
Yeah,
he has been, but he just hasn't been that devastating like there haven't been those heaps of those highlights that you used to seeing with him. So
especially out of like yardage, when he gets used to get that early ball.
I wonder if the changing around of like him not knowing whether he's starting like every week. I wonder if that plays on his mind a little bit. Where he'd rather be, when he was just a guy last year.
He more or less starts every game now.
Yeah, he come off the bench. They put Liam Martin.
He's come off the bench a couple of times.
They've been putting Liam Martin into the starting lineup.
I like
so
Liam
they've been
Martin
naming
off the bench,
they've been naming Liam Martin off the bench a few times and then starting.
I feel like Liam Martin's lost a little bit of his. When
the start of the year he was fucking.
He couldn't tackle him.
Nah. Yeah.
He's getting shots put on him.
Lost a little bit of that punch.
We talked about it around Origin time. Some of these guys that hadn't played Origin footy go on this massive big high for guys that haven't been there and played a lot of that. Like I've seen it over the years with players that have gone into it. Like I used to say Haynes used to struggle heaps after Origin. It used to take him about 4 or 5 weeks to get over it because he was...
Was that emotional toll?
I think so. Like you just imagine like you obviously play, playing such a big game and you've been striving to not only play first grade, but when you get to a first grade point, like Origin and play for your country and that, and then it's a bit of a letdown to come back down to club footy. You play Tigers at Leichhardt, fucking 7,000 people there.
Respectfully.
It's a little bit different to get up for those sorts of games. But for me, I'll start off with the Panthers. I think they got their wake up call early, nice and early in the finals. They get a life, and I'm looking for a bounce back season for them. I think they're going to come out firing, and like I said, that's the best thing about finishing in the top 4 is you get another chance, and it could get ugly. I've got a low score. I think I'll get to it a little bit with the weaknesses. The start's important for me.
Yeah, how that first 10 minutes huge, bro.
Yeah.
Do you before you continue, Scope? Do you put anything on the last time these sides met when they put 40 odd to 12 on them? Or
no.
Is that when all the young boys were
That was the
there?
Reggies.
Yeah.
That was the
nothing.
Reggies playing. No. I'll take that game doesn't mean anything. But that game means a lot to Parramatta in the sense that they're fresh and confident at the moment. And they're playing aggressive on both sides of the ball. We talked heaps about Ray Stone. I just think...
Junior Paulo keep staying in there and not avoiding suspensions massive.
Yeah,
that's massive.
Huge.
I thought he was gone for sure.
Same with Niokore. I thought Niokore would have been gone too.
Yeah, the fact that that they get to keep
Ryan Madison comes back onto the bench as well, so that gives them a bit of experience.
Yeah, and like I said, they have been playing Regan Campbell-Gillard last week. With the line speed that he got on the back of, he's coming up and trying to shoot out the line and hitting people nice and high up top because he's a bigger guy. And if he just say he missed a couple of times, little Ray Stone, fucking the Parramatta's block of cheese coming underneath and just driving people. And the same way they defended, they carried the ball nice and strong too. They really simplified their game. And it's something
you mentioned at the start of the year, Scope, when Parramatta play straight like that, they can beat anyone. It's as soon as they start, respectfully to Mitchie Moses and that, once they start skipping around and trying to go too wide too early, it seems like when they get themselves into trouble.
Especially when Mitchie...
He looks interested. Like this.
Moses.
Yeah, bro. He I think when you talk about like Mitch Moses, he's kind of the main guy, like he dictates results, but I think he's really starting to believe it now. I think he's always knowing something and believing something is two different things, and I think he believes in himself right now, and he's had a bit of adversity. You know what I mean? He rolled into Origin, everyone sort of bagging him, come out, broken back. Stuff like that, bro. You know what I mean? That's important. Now he's come up to the other side and he's got some things to reflect on and some experiences through football. So I think he'd be looking at the matchup with Nathan Cleary and going, he'd be wide-eyed and ready to go.
I think he really enjoys having that Penasini too outside of him. Like he looks like a type of guy when he's got a nice fit around him, it sort of looks like if he feels like he has to do so much, then maybe it fucking drains him a little bit. But there's a nice balance all the way around him now. He seems like they're comfortable with their combinations that they've built over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But he sets the tone for him when he's carrying the ball like that to go through. Because that game was in the balance, man, when he took him on. Newcastle were hanging in there, and they were. I
feel like Newcastle almost on top.
Yeah, so do I. They were starting to regain. Parramatta had gone after him, and they weathered the storm the Knights, and they were starting to fight back because they'd been in those scrappy affairs. And then Mitch took them on, and that was a bit of a killer right before half time. So, that's those are my things to look for. We'll get to the weaknesses. Do you want me to start on the weaknesses or?
Yeah, my weaknesses are para. Sounds bad, but you just don't know which one's going to rock up. And I know they've got the stigma around them at the moment, especially when it comes to finals football. And probably Scope can talk on this a little bit better. But why can't they just get it done in finals, bro? Do you feel like it's? Do you buy into that history stuff, or
it'd
be at the back of your mind?
I just think they've had the 4th or 5th best roster in the competition for 4 or 5 years. I don't think it's anything too crazy. Like over the last 3 or 4 years, for me, Melbourne have been better than them. Parramatta and the Roosters have been better than them. And it's as simple as that. Like Penrith have got better in the last couple of years. Manly, when Turbo's fully fit, they're better than them. For me, as their roster is right now, I believe that they're the 6th best team, and results showed that. So, and in the finals, think about the last couple of years. So Melbourne, did you think they were better than Penrith or Melbourne last year?
No,
probably not. South, probably not.
But even they should almost always be in the major in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they should be fighting for a preliminary, and that's where they are now. So if they can knock Penrith off to go into the preliminary final, that should end the discussion. But if they don't, they'll probably be in the same position next year.
My weaknesses for Penrith are they're Nathan Cleary dependent. And I know that a lot of shape goes off the back of him, and he's classy enough, and he's got the X factor and all that sort of shit to sort of handle these types of situations. But if they do nullify him to a certain extent, if they put kick pressure on and he's not getting the pickers types of kicks that he's putting up as well, and you get your fair shot, and if Parramatta get their fair shot, Mitchell Moses is good enough to sort of strip him apart. And Dylan Brown's been nice over these past couple of weeks, and he looks excited about finals football. I don't know if you can shut down or nullify Nathan Cleary. I don't think you can shut him down because he's too classy and he's too clever and his football IQ is way too high. But if you can nullify him, you start looking around and it's like, what's next? Jerome Luai's fucking your New South Wales 5'8", but he likes the ball from a wide 4 or off the back of that. So, that's it. Like I said, if you shut him down, it's just like it's kind of what's next. And they've got enough talent around them, and when everything's going well, Kiko starts flying and Capewell's breaking tackles, and Isaiah Yell's putting people through in Upper Curacao. But then if it's not going well, it's like, fuck, where do we go? That's me.
Yeah, and that's what brings them to my week. It's pretty similar. They've lost their invincibility and swag a little bit. Like they went through a period at the start of the year where they looked very hard to beat, and they would have beaten most teams before they'd even gone into games.
100%.
And then they come out of Origin and they lose that invincibility, but they started to build it up again with about 4 or 5 weeks to go. They weren't, apart from the Parramatta game, they weren't sort of smoking teams, but they looked confident. They looked like they were doing it with ease. They looked like they had another gear in them.
Yeah, they look like themselves.
When South's come out and beat them last week, it'll just give Parramatta confidence. And if Parra can get a sniff in the first 10 or 15 minutes that, all right, they're a little bit off and they've still got a bit of a hangover from last week and they're a bit nervous. That's why I say the start's important for both teams. And that'll flip me over to the Parramatta side. Do Parramatta have a plan B? So do they come after Penrith physically and try and match them and attack them with their aggressive line speed and running the ball hard, and Penrith match it, weather the storm, Nath kicks well, and then like I said, I've said it a number of times, they start going sideways. Parramatta start shifting with their middles and they feel like they're not winning the battle. Do they have a plan B? And to me, I don't think they have, because I think they've got a bit of a little brother mentality with Penrith at the moment over the last couple of years. They've been in games and they probably should have won at the start of the year. Remember when the Mitch Moses penalty goal too? So, that's where I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game, boys. I think it's...
in terms of narrative, knockout football, Battle of the West.
I'm really fucking looking forward to this game.
Two of the best halves getting around at the moment as well. Some fucking really nice forward backs. Who's your X factor?
When Nathan, I'm going to the skippers. So Nathan Cleary and Clint Gutherson. Nath's got to get back to playing not only aggressively, with his kicking game and taking the ball, taking the line on. When Nath is whacking people too, because he's had his bad shoulder injury. When Nath is defensively aggressive as well, fuck, all the rest of the boys feed off that. Like he is. There's no Nathan Cleary and Clint Gutherson are the heart and soul of both teams. If them two guys are firing, then both teams are going to be on. And with regards to Gutho, if this is one of those games where you see Gutho with 2 or 3 try savers, or he's there's a lot of talk about a lot of fullbacks. Tedesco, Pappenhausen, Tommy Travojevic.
He's just as important.
Gutho's just as important, and there hasn't been much talk about him, but you know, when Para win those games and you're like, fuck, geez, Gutho had a game. He's run 200 of the best. We haven't really talked about it. He's had a couple of grouse try savers. He's sprinting from one side of the field to stop a 40-20 or something like that. I just think he's going to have one of those games, and he's definitely capable of it. So they're my two X factors.
Yeah, I'll probably roll a few Nathan in there. Kind of had William Makikau, but I think he's going to do it. But Nathan's key. For me, for X factor on the other side, I'm going RCG. I think he can. He's going up against his old club, but he's a bit of a dirty dude too. Like, he can hold a grudge. Regan, and obviously played with him as well. So this will be personal for him. And I think much how Scope just said, Nathan can set the tone with that. I think RCG can too as well. Because if he gets excited, bro, Ray Stone starts getting a stiffy. Nathan Brown will start coming out. You know what I mean? Junior Paulo is always going to be solid, and they can rattle these boys. Obviously, Fisher Harris is the guy. Like, when you look at, like, Kikau can do a thing. Kurt Capewell's not really going to hurt you on defense. Isaiah Yell's going to lock you up and fucking suffocate you. I feel like this Parramatta forward pack's got probably a bit more punch.
Which is why I thought it was surprising Scope to see them. I know Sorensen's been really good for Penrith in the back end, but I thought Spencer Lanier was one of their best players last week. To see him be moved out for a guy like Sorensen is obviously, he's got his guys, and if he knows Sorensen can do a job. But I think Spencer Lanier gives him so much X factor when you're trying to match Parramatta physically.
I've defense first. Like,
Scotty Sorensen's so solid, man.
Defensively, he's extremely solid, yeah.
And like sort of how Scope talked about before, first thing that I will be saying to Nath is, like, get on the back of your kick chase and, like, put a shot on for the boys. And Nath's tough enough to do that as well. And this is what Ivan's like. So when you're younger, you get paid like $5 to score a try. He's got a kid called Jet. He's probably about 14, 15 right now. He's get paid $5 for stopping tries as a kid. So he sort of builds that.
His name Jet.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Jet Cleary. Yeah. Yeah. So
whatever he does, he's going to be a superstar because that's a sick name.
Yeah. And like Jet was catching like Sowie high balls, not spirals or anything, but like bombs when he was like 8, 9.
How many could I take, Scope? Over under?
Unders. Whatever it is, unders.
Result?
Penrith 19. I just want to get to your point too. You mentioned it just before, and I was thinking about it. You know, the guy who's benefited from Ray Stone the most has been Nathan Brown. You know, when Nathan Brown comes shooting out the line to go whack people, and like
he's not alone.
Sometimes he looks like he's doing it by himself, and it can lead to head-eye tackles or penalties and all that sort of stuff. His little mate Ray Stone's always there with him now.
But his point of contact's lower, so he doesn't get as much trouble.
And they fucking can drive each other together. But, I'm fucking so looking forward to this game. I got Penrith winning by a Nathan Cleary field goal or penalty goal. I'm going to hedge my bets there. Nice. I'm going 20 or 19 to 18.
I'm going 26-22 to Penrith. I think Parra will come out firing. Bro, can we just... Are you looking at Sean Lane here? Is that a weird fucking...
His skinny neck.
Can we clip that in, bro?
What's that? His photo?
Bro, go on NRL.com.
It looks even worse below Junior Paulo's lemon spread.
You got Junior Paulo, no neck, or Traps of Doom, and then you've got Sean Lane.
That's worse than Cherry Evans, that one.
Bro, that neck's long as fuck.
Actually, it must be the screen. Look at Isaiah Yell on the other side with the big oval head.
No, he looks normal there, bro. Look at that. That's weird.
The NRL.com, their profile shots are awful. I don't know how they continually fuck that up. But they're
Who
awful.
are the Hollows boys? Jakey Clifford.
Jakey Clifford looks dead.
That was a giggle.
But the worst part
they're
is
going to lose because Jake Clifford's dead.
They go, he's not getting back from this one.
All right, first game. We've gone backwards here.
Yeah, we've gone backwards. For whatever it's worth, my result, 40-12, I think Penrith licking.
Ooh!
But that's just me. I'm very 40-12-y lately. I love that score. So, was
that the Melbourne Storm Manly score?
Was, yeah.
Yeah, it's someone else's take. That's why he likes it.
Roosters Manly, this is the first game. Is this the Friday one, is it? Ice, we'll start with you here. Your Bondi boys taking on Scope's Bird Gang. Strengths, weaknesses, X Factor. Away to you, man.
Strengths for me, Manly. Obviously love the narrative as well. The two best, the fullbacks going up against each other. So that's sort of the storyline. Bit of history there. Scope's played in a few big games with the boys. So it's been a great matchup unintentionally in the finals through this. For Manly halves going up against the other boys as well. I think DCE needs to have probably his best game that he's been great all year. I think he needs to take it up another level. So I'm excited for that. Roosters fullback. Really, really like their forward pack, eh? So, obviously, we got Uria Hargraves, Isaac Liu, Angus Crichton, Tupanua, and Victor Radley, bro.
Takio is a big out for him, though.
Massive.
And they lose Verrills.
Yeah,
if those two had played.
Yeah. The rest, bro, is nice.
Yeah.
Like that back row is nice. We go up against Jakey Jaworowicz, Radley probably Even? Cancel each other out?
Yeah.
Even. Schuster? Tupanua? Evens?
Imagine if they had Boyd Corden, Jake Friend, Takiaho.
Kiri.
Who else?
Joseph
Kiri,
Manu.
Joseph Manu, Joseph Sawali. There, man, they're my early pick for fucking winning the con. I had him out of the 4 last week, but I messaged Kez the other day, just so impressed with fucking. I said, bro, is just Robbo a gun?
Yeah, he's a good bloke, bro.
Good Mondo boy.
Yeah, that's why I get around the boys from back home. So for me, forward packs and for Manly, those halves, man. Yeah, obviously they're do or die right now, and I think those boys really enjoy playing together as well. So
I think Fozzie, by his own standards, compared to where he was maybe a month ago, has probably been a bit off too. But he loves these sort of moments. Your mates go.
Fucking oath. Yeah, he pumps up.
He's
against
a glamour, Fozzie. Yeah, he's a good
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Baby Blues too.
Yeah.
Weaknesses are strength. Sorry, Scope.
Strengths. It's not my favourite 17, and I've said it before, but it's the full complement. Croker comes back. I think
that's big, bro.
I think defensively they really missed him last week. I've talked about him and said that he reminds me a lot of Matty Ballon and how important Matty Ballon was. He never really got the raps, and seen him last week. I think Lachlan Croker for Manly and Dylan Edwards for Penrith showed their importance in the teams last week, and he's that link player, and he's coming back through the middle. Carlos Lawton, he did a fair job filling in, but he's been coming off the bench and playing a bit of back row and all that.
I like him at back row.
Yeah, I like Carl Lawton as a player.
It's so frustrating to see both him and Isaiah Papali'i go to new clubs, move to a different position on the edge and kill it.
Coaching matters, bro.
Hard. Sorry, Scope, as you were.
But that's all right. So this gives them their best 17. Like I said, it's not my favourite 17, but Desi's got the full deck of cards, and that'll be massive. I think they'll be able to bounce back in this game. I'm going over to the Roosters side of the ball. Yeah, for such a proud club, and they obviously want to win. And I'm not saying Trent Robinson would be saying this to him before the game, but there's relatively no pressure. They've had so many injuries. We just named a few of them just off the top. Brett Morris add Brett Morris to that injury list as well.
They've had 3 retirements.
They've had 3 retirements. To get this far in the season already is such a bonus. So anything on top of this is grouse. So if they can frustrate Manly early as well, it's the same sort of thing. Like when you're in the position where you're the underdog in the finals and things aren't going to plan early, Manly start thinking, obviously they're looking. It'd be hard for Manly not to get excited about being on the opposite side of Penrith and Melbourne and looking at South.
That's a nice little run.
And then just to be thinking, to get that out of your mind and stay focused, all right, we've got to do a job on the Roosters Roosters got a fucking mad record against us. Like, they beat us 4 times in 1 year and won a grand final. Like, that was a long time ago. But Robbo, I feel like Robbo has... he has the textbook on how to beat Manly. So this is a fucking really tricky game for the Bird Gang. And, like I said, no pressure. If they lose, not many people would have thought they were going to win anyway. And if they win, taking on the Rabbitohs in fucking a preliminary final, a lot of people will be writing them off again. So, those are my strengths for both teams.
Weaknesses, Ice?
Half still for Roosters. Obviously, they're like I think Scope said there was no tries. Is that right? Last week?
Yes. So Mudders Hutchinson and Lockie Lamb, no tries for them.
Yeah, that for me, when you're going up against DCE and Fozzie, like that's sort of the clear thing. If you look at everyone else, they kind of match up like Saab and Tupou are like pretty much the same player. Parker, Josh Morris, obviously Morris, Kieran, Harper, who knows? Yeah. Ikavalu and Garrick, just do your job and score tries.
Yep.
That's what the boys do.
Yep.
And even the forward pack, but that matchup there, and it's probably the most important matchup that you can have in sport and in our game, rugby league, is the halves as well, because they dictate results. Weaknesses, Manly. I was a little bit lost here. Like, I was looking at Harper off the back of the game that he had.
Maybe just head noise, but he's going to have Adam Kieran coming at him. It's a bit different than Olam, respectfully. Kieran.
I think just a little bit of an experience where it doesn't matter, and I think experience matters. And then obviously, I know you're going to go your back rowers, and those are your boys that you love. But I just didn't know where they were with it last week. Respectfully, that's for me.
Yeah, they got
it's just experience.
The whole forward pack, like their numbers were down across the board because they just got starved of possession. Melbourne had the ball for so much.
Sorry, Scope. This is once Ches lost his head and Jakey lost his head. You know when Ches went to go tip on and they said it was forward, which it probably was.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. The try to sub.
I thought it was forward.
Wasn't.
No, it didn't look from one angle, but they changed and even they're going, oh, that's actually
when
forward.
I think they went the side on one. It drifted, yeah. But anyway,
agree to disagree.
Someone like Jakey who cares so much, like once they start getting rattled, the ship starts sinking pretty soon, especially if your two best players besides Tommy.
Yeah, you're right. So it'd be important to Ches and Fozzie just to...
Mate,
that's not good enough.
nice calm Ches. That's what we need.
All right, my weaknesses for the Manly Seagulls were exposed last week, and can the Roosters, with another great head coach, shut down Tommy Turbo? So the predictability for me, for Manly, they halve the field, the Melbourne Storm halve the field. Do the Roosters have do they have the troops and the capability to follow through on a game plan as well as Melbourne did? I'm not too sure.
They just don't have the talent to shut it down.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they might.
You got Mudders Hutchison coming across to try and legs tackle Tommy. It's going to get a little bit interesting. I reckon.
Yeah, it's different to Jerome Hughes and Munster. You're right, and it's different to having Harry Grant and fucking Brendan Smith 1-2 in the middle of the field as well. So you're right. I don't think they'll sort of have a game plan of trying to close down one half of the field, and then when it comes to that, are they able to? Because we haven't seen it yet. Are they able to come up with points away from Tommy Turbo? Like when they're playing their best, Ches is flowing, Fozzie's flowing, and Turbo sort of pipes in at the back end of the games and has some nice big moments, or vice versa, starts really well and then he's able to kick the feet up for a bit. So, hell, they were all after that. I'm with you again. We talked about it, and the fact that I'm on the halves again just because of the stats, like I told you before, and Sam Walker's clearly their guy. He's going to be their, for me, he's going to be their guy. Trent Robinson's calling him the finisher. It's because of he's still so young. He's a little bit beaten up at this time of the season, but if he was fully fit and he knew he could handle 80 minutes of footy, for me, Sam Walker would be his guy, and he's on the bench. So, like their query for me is the halves. And
how old's Luke Keary now, bro? 30?
No, Kez would be 27, 28.
28, yeah.
Oh,
He's same age as Lukey, so he might be 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Keary and Walker are going to be there.
So what's Jaden?
I was just thinking, fuck, do you reckon KP would go there?
Go hang out with his boy Connor.
Getting rude, especially if Connor loves it down here.
I reckon,
and
we're getting a bit off topic here, but if one of those Roosters guys becomes available, one of the Melbourne Storm hookers become available, I reckon Trent Robinson will throw and the Roosters will throw everything at him. Because you look at their lineup, like obviously Teddy's still going to be there. They've got Kez and Sam Walker. They love Joseph Sawali.
Yeah.
Obviously Toops is reliable. He's there. They have a knack of producing these outside backs like Ikavalu, Kieran, guys like this can come in and do a job. Verrills is nice, but Verrills is there 14 behind Jake
he
Friend.
Ain't cheese.
Yeah, he ain't cheese and he ain't Harry Grant. So everything else seems.
Cheese rolls into that.
Imagine Cheese or Harry Grant in that 9, bro. That would fucking be. That'd be favourites.
That's my team, bro. That's my team.
Circling back on topic, just quickly, Scope mentioned the big question mark for him would be coaching, whether or not the Roosters are able to shut down Tommy. How much of that comes down to kicking? Because obviously Jerome and Munster, respectfully, probably have the premium over.
That's massive too.
Mudders and Lockie Lamb. Because as much as the tackle,
always kick the same. They've always kicked the same.
Hutchinson left corner. Corner.
Bro, if you watch the Roosters over the last 10 years, 90% of their kicks have been bombs.
It'd be interesting how the kicking game happens because, like you said, Tupou and Saab are on the same side and they cancel each other out.
They target Crichton and Tupanua a lot. They don't quite go that wide.
Yeah, but that's obviously one of the when shit's not going right, it's just a safety blanket for Ches to go, fuck, here we go. Let's just kick to Sabi and see what he comes up with.
What the Warriors to money motivate.
And then Mudders Hutchinson does the same. He kicks over to Toops. And remember when Kieran scored 2 or 3 of the best a couple of weeks ago? It's because Tupou was going up, creating so many fucking dramas, and Kieran just fucking sitting there and going.
That's the Simon Mannering, mate. Just sit there and wait for it.
Just tip it back. So that'll be a fun little battle too. See if they still keep at it and just be like, fuck it, I like my guy over your guy. I have a feeling Roosters are going to do that against Saab.
That'll be a little fuck you.
Yeah.
Bide your time, mate.
Hey, Tupou's the OG.
The Roosters look tired. The Roosters look tired, man. Like, obviously, you got a lot of guys that aren't experienced, having to carry a lot of weight, man, and that lasts. They done well to stop the Titans.
Yeah.
Like, they look fucked, bro.
Prediction then, Ice, on that, off the back of that?
The X Factor's got to get the X Factor.
Oh, X Factors. Sorry, Ice, for you first.
I'm going to Sammy Walker. I just think he's just got more points in him than a lot of the people. I think you got to get him on, obviously, a lot earlier. I'd throw him on 30 minutes, bro, honestly. After 30 minutes, just get him on and let him do his thing. He's one of those guys that can win you a game. He probably could lose you a game as well. But you got nothing else to lose. For me, X Factor on Manly is Dylan Walker.
14s.
Got a little bit left of field here. I think he really
That
changed.
6-man chat really got you. Eh? Now you're going to the bench.
I think he gives him such a different look. I know Jakey's classy with his ball playing, but then you add Dylan Walker, who's got leg speed as well. He just makes Manly. You can spread the ball a lot more when Dylan Walker's at your first receiver as well, and he can run the ball as well. I think he's still looking for a contract too. So
He was still available.
He was their best player last
He was
week.
nice. Yeah, he was nice when he came on.
I think I had DCE initially, but I think DCE, like we always say when DCE is playing bad, we can't get a text back from him. He'd be thinking about this a lot, and he'll bounce back. So this is kind of like automatically we know he's going to bounce back because that's just what he's always done.
Yeah.
So I've gone Dylan Walker.
Before you go, Scope, Ice, just on that, if Manly were to go down to the Roosters on this one, how much does it take away from Tommy's season? Like, do we look back on it not as fondly? Does it affect it at all, or?
Yeah, we'll put a stain on it.
Yeah, fucking oath. Because
Fucking
then,
oath
like, you know what they're going to say? Oh, you can't get it done in the finals.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way we
Well,
are.
everyone said all year to me when I've been back in Manly, I'm going, don't worry, when we get to final times, we'll be all right, we'll build it up. Everyone's got, they haven't beaten the top 4 team. And they still haven't. Well, at the start of the year, they played 3 top 4 teams, but that was without Turbo. So, like, that was sort of my argument for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, now they've got to beat, like, even Roosters aren't a top 4 team, so they still they've got to go through and beat South and then eventually the winner of the other side of the thing. But, yeah, so still a bit of work to do. And if they don't get the job done, then
it hurts them, bro.
fucking oath it does.
Ches 32, Fozzie 32.
Yeah. Like they'll have this. They're pretty much running it back next year. I feel like Dill Walker will stay.
He has to.
I feel like he'll stay, but
Him and Peachy are on the market, and
Especially-
Tyrone May, it's the year of the 14.
especially if they're letting Moses Sully apparently talk to the Dragons. I wouldn't. Obviously, I'm big on. I love Moses Sully. I think
He'd be the next victim down at Dragons.
he would be my X factor if he somehow plays. And Desi's listening. X factor, baby. But my X factor are the Manly back rowers. I mentioned it. They were kept in check last week because they just didn't have any ball.
How do you get him into the game? Just early or?
You can't drop the ball and fucking turn the ball over to Melbourne and give them fucking 70-30 split. Like those boys, they're big boys. They're not your fucking workhorse back rows like Angus Crichton and
How big's Schuster?
Tupanai on the other side. He's 105 of the best.
Oh, easy.
What about height wise? Like,
He looks about 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah,
He's
not
not small. And then obviously Olakuatu's Olakuatu. So
how big's he?
this is
Oh, he's a monster.
Like he'd be bigger than Simi.
No one's bigger
Yes.
than Simi. But
yes.
they have Joshy Schuster at a cool 185 centimetres, so 6'1".
Yep.
They've got him at 108 gigs.
Schuster.
Schuster.
That's unders.
108, bro.
That's unders. He'd be $110.
He'd be
easy.
$110, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Olakuatu would be $120, $125, 6'5", I reckon.
We're looking at Nelson Asafa Solomonas. He's 130 gigs, bro.
Look
He's
at that.
the biggest human I've ever seen.
As we're talking about it, look at this. Olakuatu, and they're going to go head-to-head too. Olakuatu and Crichton on the same side of the field. Schuster and Tupanua.
Love it.
Jakey Dravojevic and Radley through the middle.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a
battle.
fucking great. You know what? I'm still like we talked about it before.
They've got Olakuatu at 196 centimetres and 115 kilos.
What's that in?
Well,
feet?
I'm a buck
6'3"?
90. I'm a
So
buck 90 and I'm 6'3". So he'd be
He's
6'5".
4'5".
He'd be 6'4", 6'5".
Fuck.
He's a big boy. He's only 22 too.
Grateful to be behind the mic.
Big schmoll.
But yeah, so they're my X factor. I've gone with Sammy Walker again. I think it's going to be close enough where he can bide his time and not put him on too early because I don't want him on the field too. If I'm the Roosters,
Why?
with just if the game's in the balance and they can. Do you think Manly going to be blowing him out early and then bring him on? Is that why you're thinking early? Because I think it'd be a big arm wrestle and he can sort of just play the same role that he's been playing the last 3 or 4 weeks where he comes on in the last 20.
No, I just think like you're gonna have like Desi come out. He goes, "Man, we can outscore anyone." It's gonna be a shoot off, bro. What if I got a scoreline? It's gonna be a shoot off, bro. Fucking 6-8.
16-14.
Nah, so you're gonna have to match fire with fire somewhere, and obviously all the video is gonna be on Teddy. Like, where's Teddy gonna come from? So you need an outlet somewhere. I think he's your guy, bro. I'll get him on a little bit earlier.
I like him at the 60-minute mark for me.
Prediction,
So you
Ice.
just got to hold on.
Hold on.
I've gone 38-14. Manly.
Oh, so you did go shoot off. There you go.
Yeah, I reckon Manly
Did you
score
say
point.
38-14? I like that. To Manly? I love that. I'm not
I'm
not as big a
supporting the
score.
Roosters yet.
I got Manly as well, 26-16.
26-16.
Yeah.
I got the Roosters in a tight one then, just to be different.
What do you got? What do you got?
Let's say 14-12. Arm wrestle.
Nah, that's not it.
We'll see, man.
Just
we'll
to be
see.
different.
Just to be different. I don't want to steal any takes. I had 13-14, but 38-14.
Had 40-12.
Did you have 38-14 really, Manly?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I did. But I was not going to say that after seeing your notes. We did throw up the Q&A. The boys haven't seen this, so we'll just start the same way. We'll start with you guys, and then you guys can just discuss it.
Yep.
First question, Isaac, comes from Brendeo. Does Jerome Luai need to step up big time in this game for Penrith after last week's performance?
Jerome Luai, I think he does, but he's one of those 5'8" that doesn't have as much touches as someone like a Munster. Like, he doesn't really get into first receiver as much as like that. But
Traditional 6.
Yeah, he's like your second guy that you go to, and the way that Penrith run their shape, he just has to get quality looks, and that starts off the good go forward. Nathan Cleary out the back as well, but his touches have to be perfect. Like, he might only get maybe 18 touches for the game, but they have to be all of them have to be quality. Is he running the ball? Is he giving it to Kikau? Is he giving it early? Or is he dropping Matty Burton back under? I don't think he has to get more involved. I just think his involvements have to be a little bit more high quality, producing something. And sometimes he's just been limited by opportunity, and that's all it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, because he plays that traditional 6 role where Nath plays on ball more often than not, and even Isaiah Yao is a bit more of their traditional like first or second receiver. When he plays with the middles, he's very dependent on Penrith being on the front foot and putting some finish and putting some class on the intersets. But it's not just him; he's across the board. Like, a lot of people look to the halves when things aren't going well, but
rightfully so, though.
Rightfully so. But I thought Fisher Harris was a little bit quieter. For me, Isaiah Yell was probably the only one that really stood up in the middle for him last week. And then
even Appy wasn't using
Brian Toto. It wasn't as destructive last week. So across the board,
right, like across the board.
Yeah, across the board, they can all lift a little bit more. So in saying that, yeah, Jerome can lift, but he'll benefit off the back of big Brian Toto carries, James Fisher Harris carries.
Fuck. Imagine being 5'8", looking to your left, and you just got Kiko, Matt Burton, and Brian Toto.
Be sweet.
I'd still be playing.
Ice, this one comes for you. Scope, you kind of touched on it earlier as well, but did Bellyache just give the comp and the Roosters the game plan to controlling Tommy Turbo?
Oh, yes and no. Like,
easier said than done.
Yeah.
He's got the troops for it.
Yeah, like we said before, he's got the troops for it, and you got 2-3 men that are very good defenders, and Munster and Jerome, but a little bit different. You know what I mean? And I think Tommy will have a chip on his shoulder this week. So you can try. You can copy the game plan, but it comes down to execution. And some people can execute and some don't. And that's why some teams win comps and some don't. It comes down to that.
That question came from Ben Shirley. Sorry, Scope.
Oh, Ben Shirley? Yeah, I've seen Ben Shirley a few times. Yeah, the execution of the halves of being able to deliver that game plan is what sets them apart. Like, obviously, their line speed from inside out is unreal too, but they went outside of their normal defensive capabilities or structures for a strict game plan, and being able to pull that off as well as they did, because once certain plays broke down and then it ended up coming back to their side of the footy where they were sort of trying to halve the field from wherever Turbo went, that comes down to footy smarts and experience and playing in big games and then just staying nice and relaxed in those moments as well. So that's why Melbourne were able to execute it. And I think, a guy like Kiri could be able to pull that off. And that's why, I've got my question marks around the Roosters halves.
Well, we're going to go straight to the Roosters halves. Isaac, Eddie Cook asks, with Verrill suspended for the Chooks, who comes into dummy half? Could Radley do a job for them there?
I thought that was going to be a hot take for me, but yeah, that's my one. Ice. If you want me to start off, I'm going. My guy Egan Butcher.
Yes,
I love me some Egan Butcher coming off the bench and playing 13. I know Robbo loves him. Him or Nat Butcher. I reckon one of them might come on and start in 13. Victor Radley sets the tone.
Is Egan better than that?
I reckon he is
they're both good. Yeah, they're both going to be around for a minute, but
there's always one better brother.
Yeah,
better looking.
Yeah,
better bloke.
Fucking score more tries. I feel like one of the Butchers will come on and start at lock. Victor Radley will go to 9, and they might bring that Ben Marsky off the bench and just keep it as per. Then they don't have to move Sam Walker around. He still stays as their finisher. Robbo's showing faith in their
small
halves.
bench if you go Marsky and Walker, but
yeah, but like they're sort of that's sort of how they are anyway. And then they can still
small ball.
Yeah, they could sort of just move it around. Like obviously, if you decide to change and put Lock and Lamb in there and Sam Walker goes, then Radley was 9,
He just moves
and
back.
he comes back into lock or plays middle. So that would be my
I had a different take, but I agree. 100 degree escape.
starting to lean towards it just for finals footy and
Yeah, that
fucking
just makes sense to me now. No, I see it like that.
I think it's going to be as simple as Marshke just comes straight into 9.
could do.
That's what I think.
Yep, could do.
Boys, William Lord 1994, Isaac asked, boys, can you see the Eels beating the Panthers this week? If so, where will the game be won?
Yes.
Yep.
I honestly can. Like, we sit in next week and say...
He's put XX at the end of his message as well.
Oh, kiss back, brother.
Thanks, William.
I honestly think they can, eh? Like, they can obviously win a close game, I reckon. I don't reckon they're going to smack them.
Where will it be won? If Parramatta are to win?
Up to Mitchell Moses, man, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it'll be one if they can keep it a low-scoring, ugly affair. Like if there's a few drops, a bit of niggle, bit of shit, Penrith start to get frustrated. Like I don't know exactly where on this. If you want to know where on what part of the field, I just think across the board. If Fergie's fucking carrying the ball well and getting up and pushing people and getting a penalty and
I bet you Nathan Cleary's got his target set that way.
Oh yeah, he's going to be making a rain.
Yeah.
Fergie's going to cop. Yeah, big time. Oh, that's his side too.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking, bro.
Just like I talked you into Radley, you might have talked me back into fucking
Penrith 13 plus.
There you go. This is a bit of a different one. Scope, we'll start with you here. Adam Reynolds proving his worth for the Bunnies with every game. Yep. Should they be looking at a guy like Kyle Flanagan to replace him next year?
Nah, they would have Wayne Bennett or the Souths when they were having these discussions about Adam Reynolds moving on. They would have had a backup plan. Apparently, there's 2 or 3 guys that they like at the team, and Taff looks to be the front runner. Obviously, he's going to
Milf will go to 14. You reckon? Or
Milf could come and play 14 in Benji's role, or even if they like Milf to start the season, just take a bit of pressure off the kid. They've got so many options that they wouldn't be looking out. They've already got their guy. They're bringing in Milf. They love 2 or 3 of their guys. The halfback, is it Ilya?
Yeah, I forget
his
his
name.
Is it
Ilya?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Can you check his name? He played against the Dragons in round 25.
He's nice.
They've got 2 or 3 guys in house that they like.
I think it's like Elias.
Yeah, you don't let your big dogs and your captain go if you don't have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at a club like that.
They can play that 30-year-old card all they want. They got a plan.
Yeah.
That's just a little scapegoat thing that they use.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flanagan will be interesting. Like, I think he ends up in Super League, respectfully.
Yeah, Flano? Yeah, I think he will.
He's just shot on confidence, bro.
Well, Lachlan Elias.
Lachlan Elias.
They like him a lot, yeah.
With regards to Flano, I think they might give him one last crack and see how he flows with Matty Burton, because there's going to be an audition for a 7 at Canterbury. They don't have at the moment.
Averillo.
They've got Averillo, Kyle Flanagan. What's your mate?
Lockie Lewis.
No, Lockie Lewis is done. He
got sacked.
He's working at JB Hi-Fi next year. Wakeham, your guy Mutters Wakeham.
Love Wakeham.
Bro, they reckon Wakeham used to put clinics on Payne Hassan. That.
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy. Like, he's a
goer.
Half. Yeah.
He's a goer.
He's got little mutters about him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He doesn't have the skill set, but he was when they played Manly, he was getting into Chaz a little bit too, and like just physically trying to get up in his face. So there's going to be an audition for him next year. They've invested so much money in him. I don't think anyone's going to sort of pay the money to take the contract off him anyway. Nah. So I think with Bulldogs, they give him a crack with. They've got a solid lineup next year.
I don't reckon they'll give him first crack.
No, I think he's going to go.
I don't think he'll get first crack. I think he'll get a chance to compete for the job.
I reckon they'll try and smoke him out, to be honest.
Okay.
4 more. Ice, this one comes from Leah Sole. Who needs to step up for Manly if Turbo's taking all the attention? If Manly are going to win, who is it?
We sort of touched on before with DCE.
Yeah.
He'll bounce back from this game. This is what he does. He's the type of player that, if you play Origin Wednesday, he plays the Friday and he turns up, you know what I mean? So I think he'll be disappointed, and he's the key to everything that they do. His kicking game is important. I think Chiz is on, and me and Scope always text each other this, is when he runs in the first set. He'll scoop it from dummy. I don't know. That must just be his little key to get himself into the game where he runs. If he's running the first set, DCE's on. Simple take, that one.
Yeah. When he gets it from dummy half, he doesn't have to rely on anyone else to get him the ball too. He just fucking scoops up. He can fake. He doesn't mind going a fucking 5 metre short side as well.
He's got the curve, eh? Yeah. Like the curve of doom.
He's pretty quick off the mark, and he's obviously very silky. The right edge, if they end up stacking the left side and Turbo plays predominantly left, like he does come over the right and put Sabi over for a few, but stack the left-hand side and have a crack on the right, I reckon, for me. I'll be going against Lockie Lamb, Kieran.
Ula
Like
Kawatu.
that's the
I think Ula Kawatu is going to be my any timer this week.
Big boy.
Yeah, I'd be taking to Kieran and the unproven commodity of Kieran and Lamb at this level on the left hand side.
Sometimes you can overdo it. Like remember Ches Origin 2, where like they got pumped by 50. He's come back the next game and he almost was trying to do too much. Where he took Munster out the game as well. So it's that nice sort of balance, which they should have.
Yep.
It's the team he's played with for the last 26 rounds. They've got systems. He'd be sweet, bro. So I think it's on DCE.
Agreed. Rugby League Guru is a pretty simple one. You've more or less answered it, Ice. But Rugby League...
let's get him in next week for the take. For
Guru.
This.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rugby League, there's your open invitation, Guru. He just asked a pretty simple question. Start Sammy Walker, yes or no?
Yes, I would. But it won't happen, but I would.
Let's go.
No, I'm going to stick by it. I'm going to have faith in Robbo and knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree
top
with
coaches.
That. I obviously agree with that as well.
Because he's seen it's less about what Sam's doing on the field. It's what sort of scores are he putting on? Is he putting it in on the sheet in wellness and how his body's holding up? He's still 18 years old.
Well, you got to remember he had to get jabbed up to debut. Like he hasn't been 100% healthy all year.
And his shoulder's been banged.
Shoulders fucked.
Rolling into 8 weeks off, surely.
Yeah, but the thing is too, like Robbo will be seeing what he's capable of, and knowing like they're not going to win the comp this year. So to make sure that Sam Walker's longevity is more important than anything for him. So 60-minute mark.
Next minute
He starts.
Next minute, Teddy's lifting the trophy.
If fucking Roosters win the comp, if Roosters,
If you get the new crown for shit takes, if Roosters win the comp, because you had him missing the 8 altogether.
it'll be worse than that. You're still that, but I'll have to be punished somehow.
Yeah.
Jax Kellerman, worst take.
Yeah, it'll get replayed over and over again. But there's no way they win the comp. There's no way.
Clip that, Lukey. Isaac Elise_J asks thoughts on Ryan Madison not being selected last week and on the bench this week. Do you think he deserves his spot?
Yeah, I just thought Makatoa you couldn't drop him and Rainstone into spot in that last little game. So, man, sometimes you got to pick on form and the horses that are hot, and those were the guys. Obviously, didn't work out, but he's back in there now. He's got a point to prove. I think he'd be good.
Let's go.
It'd be interesting off the bench. Like I see him as more as a starter. Like it'd be like I guess like a Wade Graham. I always compare him to like a poor man's Wade Graham. Like
I think him and Bryce Cartwright are very similar as well. He's a bit bigger, but
Cardi's got more points in him.
Yeah, both back rollers can play middle too, so that's the thing. That's where they're sort of safe by it. Like Sean Lane has been coming off the bench and playing middle, and so has Neokora. Yeah, play him. Play him's the right call. I think, he's been around, done it, won a comp at the Roosters. He knows about big games and finals, and you got through last week and Brad was able to reward someone who had a crack, and then now he's able to go back. It won't be a crazy big change, be defining, but I think it's the right call.
best arms in the comp as well, Ryan Madison.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Really good Warwick Farms.
There you go. That's us, YKTR Sports Show.
Thanks
Enjoy
for tuning in, guys. Later.